I'm this and that for life. This and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga. This is blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara. Here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I'll tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, send the curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rankings give me, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business, this loyalty's a damn sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fit. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal, but ain't no getting out the game like you manji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death to his heart. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital Nines, murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fucking raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. It pump smoke, never tried over it. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. It's a photo, salute my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told him I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now never do my niggas like Bishop did right here. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she leaving, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is to have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to drop. Cause my nigga's serious. Boy, when they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, what the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the hoes in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Like we all come together. Cause they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world and boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. You gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask shit. Wrong with step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. I ain't taking no losses, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got you, baby mother on high, on high. Baby pass through the fire. Ask you the props, that baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring my water. Plus your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. The ass need to stop the ass, see the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ass shit to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. ISUPK presents As Ye the Prophets weekly podcast.
Every race in the movie.
We are not the trust. We are not the trust. We are trusted, and we are not the trust.
Send in your questions to AskYeTheProphets@gmail.com or Ask Ye the Prophets on Facebook. And your questions will be answered live every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shalom. He's speaking of his own.
The white man made himself be the Egyptians and the Israelites. And the Persians. Every race in the movie.
Shalom, Israel, shalom. Welcome to another episode of Ask Ye the Prophets podcast, where you can send in all your questions, any thoughts on your mind, any life experiences, God showing you visions, God showing you things you need understanding on it. Anybody in your family, your children, your spouse, your grandmama, your auntie, your friends at the job, anything. They got questions, you can send them on in to Ask Ye the Prophets, and they'll get answered live. We are at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. 1 West, you understand? Israelite School of UPK under command of Junior Yohana. We're gonna do it up. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters that just came out of Purim. Everybody did it up on Purim, man. I saw the videos. Y'all did it up right. You know what I'm saying? The sisters and the brothers put together food, fed the brothers, man, whose brotherhood is out of this world. Out of this world. You understand? Next, we got the Passover coming up, April 24th in Houston, Texas, man. Go to the website for all the information. Book your flight, get your hotel room together. Let's do it up. Before that even come April 22nd, that Thursday is the slaughter of the lambs. Y'all know how we do in the UPK. You know what I'm saying? We get some lambs on the farm. We go ahead and cut them up, man, and get that meat out of them, pull that skin off of them, and we do it up like the ancient times, man. We're going to throw them on the grill, season them up, then throw them on the grill. We're going to have a good time, man. That's Thursday, April 22nd in Houston, Texas. We're going to do it up all weekend. And, of course, the Sunday after the Passover, the next day, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but we're going to get down for that day, too, man. So it's going to be a wonderful weekend. And the brothers in Houston, of course, you know they know how to host. They're going to have a ton of activities to do that Friday, the day before the Passover, for the children, and then halfway through the day, they're going to have something for the adults, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get it in. We're going to get it in. Again, go to isupk.com for all the information. Captain Yatzazak in Houston, Texas. You can contact him, and he'll give you all the information. First, I want to start off before I get to the questions. If I could quickly go to this story, man. The story that I'm kind of interested in. I like this story, right? Because it's where Black people trying to come together. They under this beast. You know what I'm saying? They trying to do the right thing, but still got a little Christianity in them. Still don't do it the way the UPK do it. So we'll give them some advice. Since the prophet's going to talk about it, the prophet's going to give them some advice today. You understand? It's a story about 25 Black Chicago officers, police officers, trying to form a group to counter the racist groups all going within the police departments in America, man. In Chicago, especially in LA, everywhere. The Fraternal Order of Police, one of many racist groups within the police department that Black people ain't included in. You understand? Black police can't join the Fraternal Order of Police, believe it or not. You understand? And other little squads, they call them, inside of the police departments, where white people, so-called Caucasians, our oppressor, band in their little crews within the police department to hurt and murder and oppress and lie on and steal from black and brown people, man. So these black officers, they've seen enough, so they say, and they're trying to form a group to counter that. One thing they don't understand is it's hard to work for the beast and join a organization controlled by the beast and ran by the beast for so long and think you're gonna make a change. You understand? In that organization, you can't join the group, a racist group, and say, I'm gonna stop the racism. The group is racist from the beginning, from the foundation. Let's get that, you done.
Black Chicago police officers band together for new voice during reckoning over racism in law enforcement.
Everybody know there's always been racism in law enforcement. Law enforcement was created to deal with a specific race. You understand? So it was created to oppress black and brown people, to catch the slaves, to patrol the slaves. They were called patty rollers, one name for them. You understand? Overseers. You understand? Patrol overseers, they were called. And they were created to catch slaves and go look for slaves and hunt slaves down, much like your bounty hunter. You know what I'm saying? But a little more legal and under the government than the bounty hunter. They was always created for that job. And in 2021, they still hold those jobs. And just to be politically correct, they gotta hire black and brown people in America because the government can't appear to be racist anymore. They can't appear and blatantly show their hatred of us. So they gotta pretend. And so they hire black and brown people, but even those black and brown people they hire knows that this is a racist organization I'm seeing. And black people, they watching white police officers brutalize their own people every day on the job, so much that they're killing themselves. A lot of these black police officers, man. And they hate themselves, man, and suffering from all kind of stress and different things because they seeing this. And some black police officers even become the white police officer. They just join them. They say, listen, well, this is what they doing, I'm gonna do it too. And they start hurting and oppressing their own people, man. But some see is wrong, but no, I done joined this racist organization. If I say something, they're gonna attack me. They're gonna do things to hurt me or put my life in danger, so I'm gonna shut my mouth. And now you're forced to watch your people be destroyed and abused while shutting your mouth. That's a very dishonorable thing. That's a very dishonorable job. It's better to leave that job. Quit the racist organization. Do something with your life. Come get down with the ISUPK, man. Get down with us and do some training. Show some of that training that you learn, and you'll become a man or woman of the Lord, man. You understand? And do the right thing for your people. If you're seeing the hurt of your people and you can't do anything about it and you feel helpless, you can leave that goddamn job. You're not helpless. You're not helpless. Don't be the token that they need to look right. Shouldn't be no black and brown people on the police force, man, the way they murdering us. Or we should hear about black and brown people on the police force going to absolute war with the white police officers hurting their people. It should be a civil war within the police departments all across the earth. You understand? For what's going on. That would be the only right thing I could see. Read.
Sir. Black officers in the Chicago Police Department are forming their own professional organization to lend perspective amid long-standing tensions between law enforcement and communities of color.
So they believe that if we can start this black group, man, in here. Since these white racist cops, they don't like us, they don't listen to us. We see what they're doing. we gonna form this black group just to let them know that all police officers ain't bad, all police officers ain't horrible, and we want to protect our community. You got it where you left off at? Go ahead.
So, Kyle, they said, black officers in the Chicago Police Department are forming their own professional organization to lend perspective amid long-standing tensions between law enforcement and communities of color.
Long-standing tensions between law enforcement and communities of color. And that's always been going on. Read. And communities of color. Remember that. Go ahead. Why? Because police have been, are still, and ain't going to stop until they put down killing black and brown people
Right.
of our community. Go ahead.
Concert. They said, and to serve as a counterweight to an often divisive message coming from the city's largest police union and its president.
Right, the largest police union in America and its president, they trying to fight against them because they know they're racist bastards. They know that this union, this police union about the name and its president is racist as hell. Go ahead.
With race at the core of the national reckoning and law enforcement, the officers' voices and experience are essential.
Go ahead.
They argue, so they have formed the New Black Safety Alliance as a way to collectively speak out on policing issues.
Right. Go ahead. No sweat. No sweat. So they trying to speak out against policing issues on the behalf of black and brown people who are being slaughtered by these police, and they are hardly ever getting being held accountable. They hardly ever get any repercussions. Go ahead.
A lot of us are very, very active in the community, and it's just a lot of us coming together and supporting each other.
Right, like you know, black people handle things. Black police officers, they handle things a little different from white police officers. Why? Because they have sympathy for their people. They see us as humans, in other words, which white police officers do not. White people don't see black and brown people as humans, so that's why they can treat us like they treat us. That's why they can smash a young little black girl in the ground, man, and smash her head down and hold her and put their knee on her back. Because they got no love for her because she's like an animal to them. You understand? But black officers, they do have that thing that they can see their own people and see the humanity in us. You understand? But they're in conflict because they surely are working for the beast. The scriptures say you're gonna have the mark of some of us gonna have the mark of the beast in our foreheads and in our hands. You black police officers, you are working for the beast. And if you hurting black and brown people and doing things like lying on them, planting drugs on them, getting them locked up, locking them up for no reason, or lying to get them arrested, falsifying your reports because the white police officers want you to, you have the mark of the beast in your hands, man. Meaning your actions and your moves is harming the people of God for this beast. That's what it means. You understand? So you got to get yourself together, man. Read on.
Officer Akiva McKinney, who will serve as the second vice president of the new organization, said recently while standing on the steps of the historic Stone Temple Baptist Church in North Lawndale, where Martin Luther King Jr. once preached.
Like, go ahead. Is what?
Where Martin Luther King Jr. once preached as a site of significance to some in the group.
Right. Like, once again, these cops just happen to be Christian. So right. You know it ain't going to work. You understand? Right. It's not going to work because they're too damn Christian. Like, they want to fight. You understand? They care for black people and they see what's going on. So they want to form a group to counter all the racist KKK members that's in the police force. But you can't do that if you're Christian, because the foundation of Christianity, it tells you to love these people that hurt you, to kiss and hug these people that hurt you, man. That's what Christianity teaches you. And so you can't fully protect your people or be against these racist bastards because you're Christian. You understand? Read.
The officers see the forming of the organization as part of the civil rights conversation the country finds itself in after the high-profile killing of George Floyd and others by police.
Right. They see so many killings, in their mind, they want to do something. They want to do something. Go ahead.
Concept. As leaders in a historically marginalized group, they said they feel it's their responsibility to use their power to support the black community.
Right, and that's all good. They feel as though it's their responsibility, and it is. And it is. It's their responsibility to protect us from their murderous brothers in blue. You understand? It is their responsibility. But complaining ain't going to do a thing, man. Complaining ain't going to do a thing. You're going to have to physically stop your white brothers in blue from hurting your people if you give a damn. Read.
The positions And also challenge, if needed, the positions of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 7, and particularly its president, John Catanzaro.
That's the largest union, police union in America is that FOP, that Fraternal Order of Police. A bunch of racist KKK members, neo-Nazis and white supremacists, and black people can't be a part of that. They don't let them join that. You understand? So these black police officers want to fight against them and want to counter them and show that all of us ain't like them. We don't hurt people like that, and we want to protect the community. That's what they say. You understand? Read on.
We want to not just let other officers know, but let the community know he doesn't represent us.
Right. So I'm gonna stop it there. It's more of the same thing. But he talking about that president of the Fraternal Order of Police who was making a ton of videos about the Capitol riots that just happened, where white Trump supporters rioted Capitol Hill. And the Fraternal Order of Police head is a big Trump supporter. And he claimed he's all about the law, a nation of laws, but also said that what happened at the Capitol is not that bad. It was just a few people. It ain't that bad. He's trying to downplay it. You understand? When that was a full-out terrorist move, what happened at the Capitol. You understand? So these people aren't for us. And this black group, give me Luke 3:10. This black group, they're going to try to do what they think is going to help. You understand? But y'all been watching white officers kill us for years, right? And you've been feeling bad for years. And you've been wanting to protect us for a long, long time. But then when you get back, the chief said, listen, we wrote your report, just sign it. And you signed it. You signed it because you know you're going to get foot patrol jobs if you don't. You're going to have to do traffic if you don't. You're going to get the beat up, broke police car if you don't. You understand? They're going to put you on the SHIT jobs if you don't. You're going to call in for backup in a dangerous situation, and backup won't come if you don't. You know the whole thing is lined up against you, and so you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, you lie on your reports, and you watch thousands and thousands of black people go to prison, man, with these corrupt, at the hands of these white, corrupt police officers. You've been watching it for a long time, so what do you think you're going to do different now? What do you think you're going to do different now? ISUPK might have the solution. Read Luke 3:10.
Oh, God.
We're about to read where John the Baptist was making a way for Christ to come. John the Baptist was going to people and teaching them. When it says baptize, it's simply talking about teaching them and showing them how to do the right thing. You understand? He was putting water on them and then teaching them how to do the right thing and preparing them for the coming of his cousin, Jesus Christ, Yahushua. You understand? So here, the people coming to John now. They coming to be baptized and hear from John. And this is what happened. Read.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 3 and verse 10. And the people asked him, saying, what shall we do then?
Like John told them, John was dropping on them how to be right and how to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And how to share with each other. John was trying to teach them how to love their people, man. Because once again, just like in America, black people was in Rome under the white man, under the Romans. You understand? And a lot of us had jobs under the Romans. And how we know these people is oppressing us and being unfair to us? Tell us, how can we be right under the rule of these racists? That's what they was asking John, under the Romans, who were very racist. You understand? You had black people working for the government, and they knew the government was racist. They knew their jobs oppressed black and brown people worse than they oppressed the Romans at that time. They knew that the police and the military, they oppressed black and brown people way worse than they came at white people in Rome during that time. And the same thing is going on now in America. So the people came to John, the regular citizens. They said, John, what can we do? What do we do to be better? And show the Lord, that we love our people, and do the things that you say and all the righteousness that you say. What can we do to accomplish that? Go ahead.
Verse 11. He answered and saith unto them, he that hath 2 coats, let him impart to him that have none.
John said, listen, he that have 2 coats, let him impart to him that have none. If you got 2 coats and you see your brother got none, love him enough to give him one. Love him enough to give him a coat. Share with your brothers is what John is saying. Love your brothers. This is what you do. You love your brother. You look around and you see your brothers in need. Do whatever you can, man. If you got it and he don't, y'all share. Now both of you got it. You understand? Love your brothers is what John is teaching them. Go ahead.
And he that hath meat, let him do likewise.
And he that have meat, you do the same thing. You got food, you know your brothers over here don't have it, and you share. You cut that in half, man, and you share with your brother. John is teaching brotherhood. He's teaching brotherhood. The Spirit of the Lord was on John, man. And that's why he used to tell the people, if somebody coming after me that's going to be even greater than me. You think what I'm saying is righteous, what I'm saying is heavy. You wait till my cousin get here. You wait till the king get here. Read.
Verse 12. Then came also publicans to be baptized.
And the publicans, these are government officials, tax collectors, people that work for the government that go around and enforce different things. The IRS, you know, it's the tax collector, same thing. Different government officials that'll come and maybe inspect your home or interview you just to make sure everybody's following the rules of Rome. Same thing that go on today in America. And they was reporting black and brown people. They come in and see an Israelite is not doing the right thing. They report them to the Romans, man. Get them arrested or get their houses taken or get bad things happening because they were snitching. They were snitching, man, these government officials, man. But Christ said this. The publicans wanted to know what to do. John told them this. Go ahead.
And said unto him, Master, what shall we do?
So these publicans, meaning work for public office, work for the government. You know, they enforce the rules of the government on the people. They wanted to know how could they be right. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And he said unto them, exact no more than that which is appointed you.
John said, exact no more which is appointed you, meaning don't go overboard on this job for this government. Don't go overboard. Go in, do your little 9 to 5 or whatever it is, and go home. Do your little report, enough to go show master you're doing your job, but don't go overboard. Don't go into people's homes and see problems and report every goddamn little thing you see. Don't go overboard on your own people, man, and get them in trouble like black people do today, working for the government, towing cars and writing tickets and all that mess, man. You about to write a ticket, a brother run or sister run out and say, ho, I'm about to move now. No, it's been here too long. I'm just doing my job. That's no excuse to be hateful towards your people. You doing your goddamn job. I'm just doing my job. If your job hurt black and brown people, then you have the mark of the beast and you should quit your job. You're ashamed of your people. Your job, you doing your job. Our enemies, God's enemies, give you that job and pay you for that job. And you want to tout it like it's something godly and wonderful. I'm just doing my job. Your job is disgusting, man. Right. If it hurts black and brown people in any way. Read on.
Oh God. Verse 14. And the soldiers likewise demanded of him, saying, and what shall we do?
And the what?
And
read that from the top.
And the
soldiers, police officers, same thing. Go ahead.
Likewise, demanded of him, saying, and what shall we do?
The police, the military wanted to know, John, well, what do we do, John? How do we stay right with the job we got? Enforcing the Romans' rule, man, and locking people up and doing what we do. How do we stay right? Go ahead.
And he said unto them, do violence to no man.
Do what?
Do violence to no man.
John said, do violence to no man. Don't hurt your people, man. Don't hurt your people for these Romans. Don't be violent to them, man. Help the community out. Protect the community, man. You the police, you the overseer, come through and tell your community and your people, you know, how to move and what to do to avoid being punished and persecuted by these Romans. You understand? Love your people, in other words. John is teaching them how to love Israel. Do violence to no brother or sister. Go ahead.
Oh God. Neither accuse any falsehood.
Don't lie. Stop lying on the people, man, because that's what police do. During the time of the Romans and in America, they lie. They lie so they can look good, so they can get the number of arrests or the number of write-ups that they want to make their quota. They lie. And they falsify them goddamn reports. And it'd be some white officer heading the whole thing, man. Heading the whole thing. Read on. This one is important too.
And be content with your wages.
And be content with your wages. You're a cop, you're in the military, be content with your wages, because the number one problem that make you cops be evil, especially when you black and brown, is because you don't think you're getting paid enough. So now you robbing the drug dealers. You lying on them and doing different things to get false charges on them. You stealing their drugs for them because you have a drug dealer too. So you steal their drugs to make a little extra money. Or you making deals with them. Look, I can kill you at any time. I can put false charges on you at any time. Who gonna win in court, me or you? You know I am. So now just bring me this and that amount every week. Bring me that money every week, man. And I'll leave you alone. And you in turn, I need you to snitch on a couple of your buddies every now and then. So I can look good in front of my boss. That's how the police operate. Why? Because they're not happy with the little bit of punk money they get from the government who hates them. So they rob and defraud and steal from their own people, man, and do horrible things to their own people for gain. You understand? That's the mark of the beast. Read on to the end of 14.
That's in the 14.
No sweat, no sweat. So now, what I'm going to say to these black police officers, if anybody knows them, contact them. Let them know. This is the answer. This will really help them. Instead of being so Christian, they should deputize the soldiers in the Israelite school of UPK. Deputize us, and we will most certainly patrol our communities and do what the police really should be doing. We will protect the community, man. There's only 25 of you. Find out who can sign that paper and give the soldiers in the Israelite school of UPK all across America slavery, paying jobs, and deputize us legally where we get paid. It's our job, and we'll get trained and we'll patrol the communities and protect the communities against these evil bastards that want to hurt us. If you ain't scared of them, because you might be too scared. Well, that's going to make them upset. That won't, the chief of police and the unions, they won't like that. Well, you're going to have to step out there to make a real change. Or else you can just be Christian and pretend like you want to change. But if you really want to change, you're going to have to get the men of God on your side. You're going to have to get the men of God on your side. And listen, we got soldiers all across the earth. In America, in the overseas, in the UK, Trinidad, Jamaica, wherever, Canada, wherever. South America, recruit us and deputize some of us. And we'll patrol these neighborhoods. You best believe it, because we love our people that much. We live and we die for the safety of our people. So you want somebody who really care and ain't scared of the opposition, is not scared of the forces that's going to come against us, it's the men of the law. Right. You understand? It's the men of the law. And we will protect our neighborhood. Read, I'm going to go to the first question now. So that's what them 25 police officers, it's just, they the Negro section of the police force. You know what I'm saying? They the back of the bus of the police force. And they too small and have not enough power to really make a difference in a racist organization. You join a racist organization, and just because you're mad, you knew it was racist before you joined. You thought you was going to go in there. Listen, I was fooled by that too. Believed I could join the police force and make a difference. I actually went to the suburbs. I tried to be the police in Marion County where our oppressor lives, because I wanted to arrest him in retaliation for all the arrests they did in my hood all my life. I wanted to go arrest them, but when I walked in there to take that test, I looked around and realized this is not my home. You know what I'm saying? This is not for me in here. You know what I'm saying? This these people that I don't even know if they really accepted my test. I took the test and I rolled out, but I knew, the way they was looking, the way the cats giving the test was looking, that I really wasn't supposed to be there. You understand? So I never even heard anything about the test. You understand? And then they tried to hire me to be a corrections officer in a prison, but I just knew I couldn't watch my people in them cages every day. You know what I'm saying? So they actually tried to hire me, but I never showed up, never took the job, because I knew I couldn't watch black and brown people suffer in them cages every day. You know what I'm saying? I lose my mind. I beat and did a revolt, led a revolt with me and them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they need, man. They need the prophets of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They need to do this the way Commander Johnny Yohana says to do it in order for it to be successful. Let's go to the first question.
Sister asks, Shalom, Lord Christ. If a man puts a woman away and she gets another husband, does she have to pay for that sin?
All right. The sister asks, if a man puts a woman away, if he gets rid of that woman, if he quits her, and she gets another husband, does she have to pay him? Does she have to pay for that sin? Is that a sin to her? Will the Lord punish her? But first, let's get the law on marriage first. Let's go to Deuteronomy 24:1. Deuteronomy 24:1. Then I'm gonna go to Matthew 19. The law, and listen, there's a type of putting away where a man actually leaves his woman and doesn't deal with her no more. That's not right. That's not right. Then there's a putting away, meaning, listen, for whatever reason, I'm not going to see you for a month. I'm not going to see you for a week. You understand? But he did not divorce her. He did not get rid of her. It's just temporary. You understand? So you got to understand which one you in. You know what I'm saying? Is your man trying to leave you? Because if he in the truth, if he in Israelite school or UPK, he would know he can't leave you, save one condition. There's only one thing can make you get rid of your woman under the Lord. You understand? In the ISUPK. And that's adultery. You understand? That's some type of sexual adultery and sin. That's the only way. That's the only way. So let's first get the law of marriage. Read.
Oh God. This is the book of Deuteronomy, 24, verse 1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her.
When a man gets a wife, right? When he gets a woman, wife and woman is the same word, ayasha. When he takes an ayasha or a woman or a wife and marries her, meaning has sex with her, goes into her and creates a union, creates a marriage. Go ahead.
And it comes to pass that she find no favor in his eyes.
And then she find no favor in his eyes. They don't get along. She too mouthy. Something going on where he looks at her like she's an abomination. He don't want her no more, in other words. Go ahead.
Because he has found some uncleanness in her.
Whatever uncleanness in her, he finds. Go ahead. And then he doesn't want her anymore. Read.
Then let him write her a bill of divorcement.
Let him write her a bill of divorcement. Go ahead.
And give it in her hand.
So Moses said in the law, you can give your woman a bill of divorcement. Go ahead.
And send her out of his house.
And send her out of your house. Read.
Verse 2. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
So now in the law, she's free. He didn't quit her. What's she supposed to do now? Go all her life, just shrivel up? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's free now. He didn't divorce her, gave her the bill of divorce. That's proof. Like, this is the proof that he left me. He gave me away. Go ahead. She may go and be another man's wife. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And if the latter husband hate her.
And now if he hate her and find some uncleanness in her, go ahead.
And write her a bill of divorcement.
And he divorced her, read, which is horrible. Go ahead.
And giveth it in her hand. And sendeth her out of his house.
Go ahead.
Or if the latter husband died.
Or the next guy she get, well, let's say he died. Read.
Which took her to be his wife.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
He can't take her back. Read.
After that, she is defiled.
She's defiled. Read. She's defiled. She done laid with another man. The law says you can't take her back. You understand? I know a lot of you brothers are shocked right now. You done left your ex. She done ran through a bunch of cats and came back, said she's sorry, she wants you back, and you took that nasty thing back. You understand? I hope she in the truth. Now, I hope both of you born again. Because if you're in the truth and you're born again, then she ain't the same nasty hoe that you took back. You understand? If she born again. But if you some cat got some broad still in the world that you done took back after running around with a bunch of men in the world, I pray for you, brother. I pray for you. The Lord said it is an abomination. It's like a pork. It's like pork. It's like pig sandwiches. It's like chitlins. You understand? It is an abomination Hold that. Jump to Matthew 19:3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 3.
And I'm gonna show you, like this bill of divorce, the Lord didn't want a bill of divorce in the beginning. But Moses allowed that. The Lord allowed Moses to allow a bill of divorce. Why? Because Israelites are stiff-necked and rebellious. That's why. Because we stubborn and we don't want to hear it and we want what we want. So out of mercy, the Lord let Moses put this in the law. Read what Christ said, 19:3.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him,
Right? What did the Pharisees say to him?
and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
And they was always trying to get Christ to say something that was wrong or outside of the law because they really wanted to murder him. They really wanted to arrest him and take him somewhere and murder him under the law for disrespecting the laws of Moses. So they always would ask him about the law. Because why? The Pharisees and Sadducees thought they knew the law better than anybody. So they come to him asking him about the law. So if he say something wrong, they look at the people, look at him, he's blaspheming the law. He's black, let's get around him up, let's get rid of him. That's what they wanted. But Christ was on his game. Yahweh was on his game. He knew the law better than them, for sure. You understand? So they asked him what? What was the question again?
Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
Can a man just divorce his woman for anything? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
You ain't never read in our records, in our Bible, that when the Most High made man, he made man and a woman. He made a man and a woman. Read.
Of God. Verse 5. And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother.
He said when the Lord made a man and a woman on the earth, it was prophesied that they would leave their mother and father. Go ahead.
And shall cleave to his wife.
And then the man would cleave to his wife. He'd leave home and he'd be with his woman. Go ahead.
And they twain.
And they twain, meaning two, both of them. Go ahead.
Shall be one flesh.
They will become like one force, one unit, man, together. Together. That's how the Lord created it in the beginning. That's what Christ's telling them. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh.
I mean, and these are not two individuals no more. They're together now. They're like one flesh, one unit, and one spirit. Read. Just like all the brothers and sisters in the UPK. We in one spirit, one body. The same with a man and a woman, man. Read.
What therefore God hath joined together.
Now Christ is saying, if my Father in heaven put a man and a woman together, go ahead.
Let not man put asunder.
Man can't break that up, man. Man ain't supposed to break that up. The Most High didn't intend on us divorcing each other, man. The Lord said, those two shall become one flesh, and let no man, let what the Most High put together, let no man put asunder, man. Nobody should be trying to break that up. Read. So Christ got to school them now. They come to him with a BS question about divorce. Can they get divorced with any matter? He go way deeper than they little question. He said, well, you ain't read in the beginning? When the Lord made a man and a woman, he made them to come together as one flesh, one force, one spirit. So let what the Most High put together, let no man put together. Let no man put asunder or separate. Go ahead.
Verse 7. They say unto him, Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement?
So now they try to come back. Well, oh man, he cutting up. Well, look, well, why Moses the one said we can divorce? Why would Moses say we can divorce? It's in the laws. Why would Moses say we can divorce then? Read.
And to put her away.
And to put her away, get rid of her, get her out the house. Go ahead.
Verse 8. He saith unto them.
This is what our king said. Go ahead.
Moses, because of the hardness of your heart.
Because we were so goddamn hard-headed. We try to counsel couples and tell them to stay together, work this out, but they damn near want to kill each other, man. They would damn near want to kill each other and don't want to reconcile, don't want to make it right. So Moses because of the hardness of our hearts, man, because we were so stiff-necked and didn't want to hear anything, and so we don't kill each other. Go ahead.
Suffered you.
He suffered you. You remember that? That bill of divorce came from suffering. He suffered your damn attitudes and your rebellion and your stiff neck. He was angered at all your damn, you can't work it out. He was angered because the Most High put you together, man. And said, once you're together, you one flesh. But here with these hard-headed Israelites can't get along, don't want to fix it, don't want to listen to counsel, don't want to follow the rules, don't want to get it together, man. What, you fell out of love? Because you fell out of love. Christian is all be damned, man. You fell out of love. Read.
God. And to put her away.
Go ahead.
No, stop you. Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, you to put away your wives.
Right, just because of how hard-headed we was and we couldn't fix it, didn't want to fix it, so he suffered us. So he suffered us to put away our women. Read.
But from the beginning, it was not so.
But it was not like that in the beginning. It was not like that in the beginning, man. You couldn't just leave your woman. Read on.
Verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife.
Go ahead now. Christ is making you understand what the Most High wants. What the Most High wants. Whosoever shall put away his wife. Read.
Except it be for fornication.
Unless she done slept with some man, unless she done slept with some woman, unless she done exposed herself to some man and strip dancing and doing nasty fornicating things. Go ahead.
And shall marry another.
Go ahead and have sex with somebody else. Go ahead.
Committed adultery.
Even if she has sex with a woman. Some of you think, well, my wife, she went and slept with a woman, man, but I can forgive her because she, wasn't no man. No. If she was sexual with anybody, that's fornication, man. And that's fornication. She committeth adultery. Go ahead.
And whoso marrieth her, which is put away.
And whosoever, if whoever having sex with her, go ahead.
Doth commit adultery.
Commit adultery against that brother. So both of them committing adultery against the brother, man. If he put her away only for fornication, if she ain't commit fornication and he put her away, she is committing adultery. He's committing adultery and she's committed. Did we get that part where he committed adultery? Come, read that again now. I'll make it clear.
Okay. Verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife.
So if you get rid of your woman, you leave your woman, you quit her, read.
Except it be for fornication.
And she didn't commit no fornication, go ahead.
And shall marry another.
If she didn't marry another, if she didn't have sex with somebody else, go ahead.
Committed adultery.
You commit adultery, brother. You commit adultery by doing that. You sleeping with women and throwing them away, you are an adulterer. Death penalty offense, man. You deserve death. And only through the grace of our King Yahweh Shah shedding his blood to give you a little time, you have that little time to get right. Grace don't last forever. Grace period is in. You ever took out a loan? They give you a grace period. And then that grace period, you got to pay the bank, man. Christ is the bank, and he coming to collect. You better get right before that happens, man. Because if you get rid of your woman and she haven't committed adultery, she haven't committed fornication, you are committing adultery. Read on.
Okay. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery.
And whoever take her to be their woman after this brother then left her, man, he committed adultery too, man. It's wrong. You understand? It's wrong. And it shows, go to 1 Corinthians 7:15. And it shows something. If a brother get rid of his woman, he surely is not part of the ISUPK. If he's in here, he's just pretending. And he'll be dealt with because we got caught in here. We'll hold court. It's called counsel. You understand? And he'll have to pay for that. If you and ISUPK, you can't get rid of your woman unless she becomes a whore. Unless she commits fornication or commits adultery, which is being a whore. You understand? That's the only way you can leave her. You understand? And if you leave your woman and you act like you up in here, you're not really one of us because we don't do that. You're not one of us and we're going to put you the hell out of here. You understand? You're not one of us. Read what you got.
Oh God. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 15.
So, sis, your question: if a brother leaves you, have you done any wrong? Go ahead. What's the? Let me make sure the question. And if you get another man, do you commit any sin? Well, Christ explained it from the beginning. The Lord did not want you to go away from your husband. The Lord did not want him to put you away. You understand? But if he put you away, he's causing both of you to commit adultery. Because it's only natural that you get another man. If he's leaving you and not giving you due benevolence anymore, he don't want to have nothing to do with you. It's only natural you're going to get another man. And our king knew that. And he is causing him and you to commit adultery. You understand? But it's not your fault, sis. It's not your fault. And Paul said this, and Paul was a prophet of God. Go ahead.
But if the unbelieving depart,
Number one, first and foremost, if a brother leave a woman, he is unbelieving. He is not in the truth. I don't care if he says he's in the ISUPK. I don't care how long he says he's been in the truth. If he leaves his woman, he is not in the truth. If he departs from her, the scripture just said he is unbelieving. He don't believe in the laws of the Lord. He don't believe in what Christ taught. He don't believe in what we believe in the ISUPK. So he's not one of us. He's unbelieving. Go ahead.
let him depart.
Let him depart. Shalom. He want to leave you, sis. He want to leave you knowing it's wrong. He got shalom. He want to roll out. Let him roll out. Read.
A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases.
You ain't in bondage to try to hold on and just wait all your life for him to change his mind. You're not under bondage in such cases. If they unbelieving, let him depart. Let him depart. Hell, he go out here unbelieving, he ain't in the truth. He leave you, he go sleep with some broad and get the full out blown AIDS or something worse. The new strand of AIDS, the Superman AIDS. You understand? Come bring it back to you. You don't want that. You don't want that. If he roll out, let him roll. And it said a brother or sister is not in bondage. So if you got some woman that want to go be a whore and she leave out, then she is unbelieving. And she better not lie and say she one of us, because she's not. I don't care how many classes she done sat in. She's not one of us if she leaves you, because it's against our standards and against our laws and against the spirit of Christ. If she leaves you, she is unbelieving. She is not in the truth. And brother, you freed up. F her. You understand? Forget her. Move on. You are not in bondage under such cases. Go ahead.
But God hath called us to peace.
Like the Lord wants peace in this nation, man. He wants healthy relationships. And so do Commander General Yohana. He wants peace in our relationships, and he wants healthy relationships, man. So whatever's going to make your relationship healthy and lawful, that's what Commander General Yohana pushes, because he knows that's what the Most High wants. You understand? So that's it. I ain't even going to go to these other ones. So that's it, sis. You free from bondage of the law if he leaves you. You understand? You go get yourself another husband. Come get counsel first and foremost from the Lord, which are the priests in the ISUPK. And you'll be free from all that mess, man. You don't need that garbage. Next question.
Come on, sir. This one's from Captain Azania.
Azania?
Azania, sorry.
Okay.
Captain Azania said, the Queen of the South, is there any significant reason why Christ references her?
All right, let's get that. Let's get Matthew 12 and 38. Then I'm gonna get John the 20th chapter. You understand? So so let's go on to the point. Why did Yahushua reference the Queen of the South, who is Queen of Sheba? Queen of Sheba came from far and wide to hear the wisdom of Solomon and to hear him speak. And I'm going to explain why and why our king even brought her up. Read.
Oh God. Matthew
12 and 38. I believe.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 38. Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, Master, we would see a sign from thee.
So now, the scribes and the Pharisees, they told our king, listen, we want to believe in you. We done heard about all this stuff you did, people talking about you. Show us a sign. We want to see a sign from you so we can believe. First of all, that was evil as hell to say to our king. You understand? They saying this to him because they hear about all the people he healing. They hear about what he's teaching. They hear about all the righteousness, hear about him raising the dead, hearing about him cleansing the lepers, hearing about all the things he did. But when they get in front of him, they say, go on and do something in front of us so we can see you. Read.
Verse 39, but he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation.
You bunch of evil, whoring people. You bunch of whores. You hoes for the white man. He called them adulterous. Right. You know what adulterous is, a whore. Christ is calling the Pharisees and Sadducees a bunch of whores. You ain't gonna hear that on Sunday, but it's right here in the book. He said an evil and adulterous generation. A bunch of whores, read.
Seeketh after a sign.
You a bunch of hoes for the Romans. That's what you are. You hoes for our oppressors, asking me to show you a sign. You bunch of whores, you. Just like the Christian church. A bunch of hoes for our oppressors, man. A bunch of hoes. Getting used up. But then when real men of God come here, it's like we got to go above and beyond to show you that we doing the right things. Christ said, if you don't believe the doctrine, at least believe the works. You understand? At least believe my works. These were evil bastards here. These were whores here. Seeking after a sign. Go ahead.
And there shall no sign be given.
And Christ said, you ain't gonna get no goddamn sign. Read.
But the sign of the prophet Jonas.
The only sign you whores gonna get is the sign of Jonas. Read.
Verse 1. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly.
Just like Jonas was 3 days, and Jonah was 3 days in the belly of the whale, man. 3 days and 3 nights. Go ahead.
So shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
The Son of Man, I'm gonna be 3 days in the earth. In the sepulchre, dead and gone. But after them 3 days, I'm gonna rise again. That's the only sign you're gonna get. The only sign you whores gonna get is me being gone in the earth 3 days and then rising afterward, man. Raising from the dead. Read.
Verse 41. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation.
Nineveh. That's who Jonah went to and warned them. Listen, the Lord said, if y'all don't repent, he killing everybody in 40 days. But Christ is saying here, those people of Nineveh, they're going to rise in judgment with this generation, these bunch of whores, read.
And shall condemn it.
And they're going to condemn these whores because they're evil as hell and disgusting. Read.
Because they repented at the preaching of Jonah.
Because Nineveh, they repented to the Most High from the words that Jonah said. Jonah spoke words to them and they believed and repented to the Lord and got themselves right. You understand? And got themselves right. But these bastards here, these whores, they don't believe the words of the people about Yahushua. They don't believe his words alone. They want to see something. They want to see a miracle. You understand? When Nineveh didn't need a miracle. All Jonah did was speak the words of the Lord, and they believed and they repented. Read.
And behold, a greater than Jonas is here.
And now a greater prophet than Jonah is here. Christ is saying, read on.
Verse 42. The queen of the south shall rise up in the judgment with this generation. Christ said the queen of the south, the queen of Sheba, not even an Israelite, she shall rise up in judgment with this generation, with these nasty whores Christ is speaking to. Go ahead. And shall condemn it. And going to condemn these hoes, man. Just like we condemn these hoes in the church. Read. For she came from the uttermost part of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. She traveled long and far to hear the wisdom of Solomon. To hear what? His words. To hear the words of Solomon. Why? The Queen of Sheba wanted to come and learn how to govern. Heard about this wise Israelite that's ruling these people over there in that land, ruling over Israel. Heard how wise he was, how his judgments was wise, how the people loved him because he knew how to operate and deal with the people and give righteous judgment and make righteous laws and make righteous decisions. And she wanted some of that. She was the queen. She wanted to rule her people the right way.
She wanted to not be oppressive over her and have them love her. That's what she wanted. So she came to sit down with Solomon to hear how he governed his people, to hear all his wisdom. And guess what? He dropped it on her. And she gave him gold and the best of tree furs and animals. She came with a treasure trove of gifts and riches for Solomon if he could convince her that he was really wise and show her how to run a good government. And he showed her how to run a good government. And she left him with all those gifts. He built the temple with a lot of things Sheba left him, man. And then she rolled out to govern her people. Why? Because she just learned how to rule. Solomon just spoke words to her, man. She came from the uttermost parts. Read.
Oh God. For she came from the uttermost part of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon.
Go ahead.
And behold, a greater than Solomon is here.
And now Christ is here, who's greater than Solomon, more wise than Solomon. And these whores want to question him on whether he is the guy. Show us a miracle first. Like he's some child. Prove it. Show us something then. Show me something. He's a bunch of whores, man. Stepping up to our king, man. Stepping up to our king. If this was his kingdom, he'd have cut their heads off. You best believe. You understand. But he had to check them, man, and show them that all these people cause people to believe in them from their words. Now, I'm greater than them, and you don't believe just from my words? I got to show you a miracle? I got to show you a whole miracle, huh? Read. What verse you at?
Verse 43.
So now, the question to Captain Azania, the reason why he used the Queen of the South, Queen of Sheba, because she is in our historical records. She was written of in our Bible. And Christ would say things that our people could understand that was in our records. He was always quoting the Old Testament and giving examples and metaphors that we can understand. If your sheep is stuck in a ditch on the Sabbath, won't you pluck it out? Because people's animals got stuck in ditches on the Sabbath all the time. And they got them out. So he used those things that we were living, those things that we done went through, to give them examples on how they should shut their mouth when the disciples is picking corn. You understand? All the different examples he gave was things we can relate to, and we can relate to the Queen of Sheba because she's in our records. She's written of in our Bible. So he used that as an example because these men of the law, men of the Torah, our black leaders who stood for the law, they would understand what he meant. You understand? And he cut these nasty behinds with the words that he said. He cut them good too. Let me see. Go to John 20 and 24. Give you another example of somebody who didn't believe unless they saw something, man. And the Lord had mercy, but it is evil as hell to want a miracle to believe in our King. When you're hearing all his actions, you're hearing about all the things he did, the people is talking. Hell, the blind man ran out and said, yeah, I don't know what y'all want. They said, listen, did this man heal your eyes that you can see? He said, is he saying he the king? And the brother said, well, I don't know, from where he came from. I don't know who he says he is, but I know everybody knows that I was born blind. You understand? I was born blind and now I can see. I can tell you that much. He touched my eyes and now I can see. That's all I can tell you. You understand? And they was angry. They was angry because he doing miracles. Everybody's seeing it. But they're the leaders and they want to lead and they want to be good boys for the white Romans. You understand? But if this brother's doing miracles and doing the works of God, then the people gonna say you ain't the man of God because they wasn't raising the dead. They wasn't committing miracles. I'm good. They wasn't doing the things that Christ was doing, and they were jealous of him. You understand? Read John 20 and 24.
This is the book of John, 20, verse 24.
Go ahead.
But Thomas, one of the 12.
Thomas was one of the 12 disciples. Go ahead.
Called
Didymus.
Was not with them.
And show you, these got to be black people because everybody got a nickname. Everybody got a nickname, and that's black culture to have a nickname. Your name too long, man. You know what I'm saying? We gonna call you your name Ibaya Iba. We just shorten it up. I'm Mayaka Allah. Been that for 30, 20 years, whatever. But I'm Maya because it's short. You understand? Even in the world, we all had nicknames. Read.
Was not with them when Jesus came.
So he wasn't there when Christ rose and showed himself unto the disciples. Go ahead.
Verse 25. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord.
We have seen him. Go ahead.
But he said unto them,
He didn't believe because he said this. Go ahead.
Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails.
He said, what? Y'all saw the Lord? Man, I don't know about that. He was dead. What you mean? Man, unless I see the holes in his hands when they nailed them nails in his hands, then I'll believe. Read.
And put my finger into the print of the nails.
Now, unless I stick my finger in them hole to make sure there's a real hole in his hand, because I saw them bang the hole in his hand. Unless I stick my finger in it, go ahead.
And thrust my hand into his side.
And I saw the Romans stab him in the side. And unless I could stick my hand in that wound, only then, go ahead.
I will not believe.
I ain't gonna believe unless I do that. Man, y'all crazy. What? He back. He rose. Man, let me see him. Let me put my fingers in them holes. Let me stick my hand in his side where they stabbed him at. Then I'll believe. Go ahead.
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And after 8 days, again, his disciples were with them, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus.
So now 8 days later, they with Thomas again, and Christ come in. Go ahead.
The doors being shut.
And shut the door, read.
And stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you.
He says shalom. He says shalom to the brothers. Peace be unto you. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Then saith he to Thomas.
And then Christ looked at Thomas. Our king said what?
Reach hither thy finger.
He said, reach your fingers in this hole. Go ahead.
And behold my hand.
He said, reach your fingers in my hands, man, because he still had the holes in his hand. Read.
And reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side.
And take your hand and reach it in my side. I still got the wound. Go ahead.
And be not faithless.
And be not faithless. Go ahead.
But believe it.
But believe, man. Your brothers told you I was back. They told you I was back, man. All this time we've been rolling together, you ain't gonna believe them. You're not gonna believe them when they tell you something about me. Be not thou faithless, but believe, man. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God.
Then Thomas believed. He said, my Lord, my power, you are back. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Jesus saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed.
He said, you know what, Thomas? Because you seen me, you believe. Because you stuck your finger in my hand, because you reached your hand in my wound in my side, now you believe. Read.
Blessed are they.
But you know what? Blessed are they. Read.
That have not seen.
Go ahead.
And yet have believed.
Blessed are they that haven't seen, but believe the word. But believe the mere word. So that's what this is all about, Azania. This is about the Queen of Sheba believing the words of a man of God. Believing it so much that she flooded him with riches and went back to rule her kingdom. This is about Nineveh believing the words of a man of God so much that they repented to the Lord and he changed his mind about destroying them. You understand? This is about the world believing in our King Yahushua, believing in the words, believing in the words of the witnesses, which we read right now. We ain't seen him. We ain't stuck our hand in his finger. We believe in the words of the witnesses of Christ. You understand? That's what a testament is. It's a witness. You understand? They're giving their testimony. And so we read in the testament, the testimony, the witness of men that did see him, men that did roll with him, men that said prophecies about him from God. And guess what? In ISUBK, we believe, man. Blessed are thou who believe and have not seen. We got faith, hope, you understand, and we believe. So the Queen of Sheba was more righteous than these black leader whores, man. Than these evil whores in the church now and in the damn church back then during the time of Rome. Next question.
Young man asks, what type of fringes are okay to wear? Should we wear them all the time, and how often do you wear them? Also, what type of garments with fringes are lawful to wear? As a young man, I'm required to wear all black. can I wear colored clothing out in the street if I have garments? I'm trying to keep the commandments, and I appreciate your answer.
Come. Give me Numbers 15 and 37, which is where he get his question from. Now, let me say this, right? Well, first, let me read this scripture. This is the scripture that he quoted with the question. What type of fringes are okay to wear? Should we wear them all the time? And how often do you wear them? Why? Because Christian Israelites read the Bible and don't understand the Bible, right? And so this question most times come from something somebody saw that a Christian Israelite said, or a video they said. That's why they wear fringes on their t-shirt. You understand? That's why they do fringes in a weird way. You understand? Because they read the Bible and don't understand the Bible, but that's why the prophets are here, the ISUPK, to give total understanding on the Bible. I'm gonna make this very clear. First, I'm gonna read the scripture, then I'm gonna break it down. Read.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 37. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 38.
So this is the Lord speaking to Moses. Go ahead.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
Speak unto the children of Israel. Go ahead.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
That they make them fringes in the borders of their garments. Go ahead.
Throughout their generations.
Throughout their generations. Go ahead.
And that they put upon the
meaning always. Go ahead.
Of the borders a ribbon of blue.
And put a ribbon of blue in the borders of their garments. Go ahead.
Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord. Right.
So the Lord got to have us wearing fringes and borders of blue to remember his law, to show his law. But now, let me ask a question. This is the problem. Let me ask this. Does a man or woman would you wear fringes on your socks? Right? Would anybody, all you online too, this question for you too. Would you put fringes on your socks? Go ahead, you Diane.
Sorry, sir. I saw a brother on Twitter, and he had fringes on his Cadillac, and he had a coat on his dog. I said,
and listen, I'm gonna show you how that's shameful. This is not what the Lord meant. But listen, do you wear fringes on your drawers? Anybody? Your underwear? You wear fringes on your panties? How about your pajamas? I know some of you wear pajamas, a little fluffy footies and all that with your pajamas. Do you got fringes on your pajamas, you Christian Israelites? I'm asking you too. Do you wear fringes on your pajamas, on your fluffy shoes? You understand? How about when you're working in a field? Let's say your job is to dig a ditch. Because they think that you're supposed to wear fringes all the time. That's the purpose of this question. Am I supposed to always wear fringes? It said throughout all your generations, wear fringes on your garment. But nobody wear fringes if they dig in a ditch, digging a hole. If you're a plumber and you fixing toilets and sewage, you ain't wearing fringes and borders of blue. You understand? So it's obviously not talking about all the time. This is the mistake. When people who don't understand the Bible read the word garment, make fringes upon their garments, they think garment means clothing. The word garment doesn't mean clothing. You understand? You Christian Israelites, you just don't understand the Bible. Your garment isn't your clothing. You understand? A garment is something special that Israelites wore. Priests wore a holy garment and then took it off, you know what I'm saying, and put on something else, a change of clothes, the scriptures tell you. You know what I'm saying? We wore garments. The garment in Israel was like our suit, like the white man's suit. Like he wears a suit on special occasions and ceremonies. That's what a garment was to us. This law is speaking to all Israel, but it's telling us that when we put on these garments, which is a special thing, a ceremonious thing, you understand, make sure it got the fringes and the ribbon of blue. This is for the priests. This is for the citizens of Israel when they go into a special occasion, when they go into a high holy day, you know what I'm saying, or some special priestly service. When they go into some function, this is not everyday. A garment isn't for everyday wear. You understand? This is for a special occasion. when you got that interview, you putting on that suit. You don't wear no suit, Negro. Don't never wear no suit. That's why you in the drawer looking for a tie you don't have to iron. Or a tie, that tie you remember that go with this suit that you don't know if you lost it because you ain't seen it in 3 years. Because you ain't wore the tie in 3 years. But now you got this special thing you're going to. Oh man, I got to go buy a new suit. You understand? That's what a garment is in Israel. It's our ceremonial garment. It's for ceremonies. It's for priestly services. It's for the priests had a special. Not only did they have the regular garment, a special garment, but it was super special. The Lord had different fabrics had to be put in there. Do I got? Let's get that. Give me You read that? Hold that shit. I'm gonna come back to that. Oh man, did I write it down? Let me see. Yeah, Exodus 28:4, and I'm gonna come back to that. Come, like it's for a special wear. You know what I mean? And you ask any Israelite, always talk about we supposed to wear it all the time. Nigga, you don't wear it when you're doing dirty work. You don't wear it when you're doing laborious work. That ain't nothing you wear every day. It's a special thing. That's why we talk about clothes all the time in the ISUBK, but then when we talk about garments, it's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing because that's what it is. It's something special that you wear. You understand? It's not everyday clothing. Garment doesn't mean clothing. It's not just everyday clothing. But y'all don't understand, of course, because you're not in the ISUBK. Read Exodus.
This book, Exodus 28, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And these are the garments which they shall make.
And these are the garments. Now these, not only was they garments, but the Lord had the priests wear exceptional garments. I mean, these weren't just business suits they was putting on, but these were like royal business suits. Read.
A breastplate.
They were supposed to get a breastplate on their garment. Go ahead.
And an ephod.
An ephod, which are holy symbols. Go ahead.
And a robe.
Go ahead.
And a broidered coat.
A broidered coat to go around the garment, man. They were supposed to look good because this was a special type of garment here. All of our garments are special and had to be decorated, but the priest, the top priest in Israel, their suit had to be better than everybody. Read.
A mitre.
A mitre on their head. Throw that mitre on. That mitre is part of our business suit. It's part of our special ceremonial suit, man. You don't wear it every day going up and down the block. I was a young man, bro. I did that, though. I was rolling through the hood. I think I probably was just becoming an officer or still a trooper with a big mitre, brother, in hood, 42nd Street, West Philly. Sitting up in my mama's house, my cousins sitting looking like I'm absolutely crazy. Because I kind of was. I was about this thing, you know. I was 10 toes in. You couldn't tell me nothing, man. This was water and life to me, and I wanted everybody to see it. But they thought I was crazy. You understand? But it's not everyday wear. You understand? Read.
And a girdle.
And a girdle, man, a war belt. Go ahead.
And they shall make holy garments for Aaron, thy brother.
And make holy garments for Aaron too. Go ahead.
And his son.
Go ahead.
That he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Right. So now in the priest's office, they'd have had these fly garments, man. Not just normal garments with the fringes and border of blue, but fly garments. Rocked it out. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And they shall take gold.
Gold, man. Come on now. How many of us rocking real gold on the garment? Go ahead.
And blue.
Uh-huh.
And purple.
Uh-huh.
And scarlet.
Go ahead.
And fine linen.
I think Cabal had a garment that matched this exactly. Cabal made garments like this, man, with all the colors and all the that royal look. Go ahead. General Cabal, go ahead.
Verse 6. And they shall make an ephod of gold.
Uh-huh.
Of blue.
Uh-huh.
And of purple.
Go ahead.
Of scarlet. And of fine twined linen.
Not just any linen, it's fine twined linen. Go ahead.
With cunning
With
work.
cunning work, man. It better be fly. The work that you put in this garment better be fly. This is the garment of Israel. So now go back to Numbers 15 and 37.
This is the book of Numbers, 15 and verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
Go ahead.
verse 38, speak unto the children of Israel,
Go ahead.
and bid them that they make the fringes
Make fringes. Go ahead.
and the borders of their garments.
So this fly ceremonious suit that y'all gonna wear for ceremonies, for special occasions, especially my priest there is gonna be fly, all the way fly. Put fringes in the borders of these garments, man. Not your everyday clothes, but your garment. The Israelites, the Israelites business suit, or ceremony suit, or the sisters' prom dress. The sisters ain't got to wear fringes every day, but when they go to a ceremony like the Passover or different things, priestly services, or different something that Israel is doing, some function, this ceremonial, they'll wear some beautiful gown, some rocked out gown with fringes in it, man. Borders of blue in it. Read.
Oh God. And they put upon the fringe of the socket.
You skipped some.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
Not your everyday clothes, not your socks, not your drawers, not your wife beater, not your t-shirt, not your pajamas. Go ahead. Not your damn car. Not your car. Read. And what else? Not your. If you want to put it on your dog, it ain't no sin. You understand? But just know that's not a garment. You just trying to Israelite up your dog. You trying to be fly. It's not a sin. You understand? But it's not this right here that we're reading about. Go ahead.
Throughout their generations.
And all your generations, all your people, teach your children, man. That when they make garments, which are ceremonial outfits, make sure you got that for the fringes in the border of blue. Go ahead.
And that they put upon the fringe of the border a ribbon of blue.
That ribbon of blue. Go ahead.
Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a friend.
Go ahead.
That ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
So through all our priestly services, through all our ceremonies, through all our royal events, we used to always represent the Most High. Put on a garment and show the fringes and border of blue representing the laws of the Most High, man. That was our culture. That's what we do. But fringes don't go on your t-shirt or wife beater. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? They don't go on your Nikes. I see a lot of you Negroes trying to be us at camp with Nikes on, man. You at camp with fringes and on your t-shirt and Nikes on. Oh, damn Reeboks, man. And feeling like, I guess you feel like a priest, huh? A Nike pump wearing priest, huh? Please, you jokes, man. You jokes. You better come in and get under this order and do it the right way. Right. I pray that you have enough humility to come in and do it the right way, instead of following some wannabe Negroes, man. They want to be the ISUPK. Y'all ain't the only ones. Y'all ain't that. We are the only ones. We are the only ones. Your camp is not in the truth. Right. I don't care how much Hebrew you learn. I know Hebrew from A to Z. I didn't study the white man's Hebrew and the ancient Hebrew forward and backward. Well, that's fine, brother. When you gonna come in the truth? When you gonna come in the truth? Maybe you'll end up being a good Hebrew teacher once you get your officership after calling men sir in the ISUPK. But y'all don't want to do that. More power to you. Next question.
This is from young man Jaheem Zangus.
Come.
It says, can I get a breakdown on Genesis 1 and 2?
No, flip. So this one, I just put a few questions because they always in the book of Genesis. So the brother Jaheim Exantus, he want to break down Genesis 1 and 2. Go. What's the next question?
When you get a chance, can you explain the Garden of Eden metaphor to me?
Come.
He was saying how the tree of good and evil was really the lawless ways of all the other people that the Most High did not see fit to dust off and clean up.
Come. So this brother basically he wants to know about the trees that was in the garden because he was told that the tree of good and that these weren't actual trees. You understand? So and that's correct. But he just wants some more understanding on it. Go ahead.
And how he didn't really take a rib from Adam, but the rib was one of his cousins.
How the rib that the Lord took out of Adam wasn't really his rib. We're gonna go into all of that. How it was one of his cousins. Come. And that's a perfect way he phrased it, one of his cousins. Whoever taught him that, taught him right. You understand? Shout out to South Carolina. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 1. Let's get a little bit of creation first for the first brother.
So God.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
So in the beginning, what does that mean? When God began, when the Most High began. In the beginning, the Most High created the heaven and the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Now this is his question. Go ahead.
And the earth was without form and void,
And the earth was without form and void. Go ahead.
and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Go ahead.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So now, let's break it down. Let's break it down. Read one again.
That was God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void.
And the earth was without form and void. So I got a question for you online and in the class. The earth was without form and void. So it had no form and it was void. Did God create the earth yet? That's the question. Anybody online? Did God create the earth yet? I think Abad answered this before, right? And he was correct. Did God create the earth? Because it said the earth was without form and void, meaning, first let me get this answer first. Did God create the earth right now in the second verse? Shara said la'ah. Anybody else? Anybody else? Did God create the earth right here in the second verse? He said it was void and without form. Ibai, what do you say? What was your answer before?
He did create the earth.
He did. Ibad's answer said, he said, I did. Since it's Shara Salakia, but Ibad is correct. God did create the earth. He said in the first verse, I created the heaven and the earth. It's just that this earth he created, it was not how we see it today, because it was void and without form, meaning it was like a ball of gas sitting in space, like a cloud, a cloudy ball of gas and of smoke or whatever, sitting in outer space. You understand? That's what it was. So read on.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep. What is the deep? When you hear deep, you think of waters, right? You think of water. So this deep is talking about outer space. What is water? Water is like something you in, it changes the gravity, and you can't breathe. You understand? That's what waters are. So the actual waters in the sea, those are waters, and space is water. That's why the gravity changes. That's why you can't breathe. We need air. There's no air in space. There's no air under the water for us to breathe. You understand? So it said that the earth was void and it was without form, meaning it wasn't that solid ball that we see on maps today. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, meaning there was nothing but darkness, all in space, and the earth was darkness. That cloud of gas, that ball of gas, it was just darkness. Read.
So God, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, which is again space. Space. And in this ball of gas, that was the earth, when it was void and without form, everything we needed to live was in that ball of gas. All the electrons, the neutrons, the protons, every element on the element chart, everything that was in that ball of gas was sufficient to make trees, wood, to give us air, water. Everything the Lord needed to make the earth as we know it now was inside of this ball of gas. Sis, just let the brothers know before you open the door, right? All right. Read on.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of these waters, man, in outer space. What was the Spirit of God? Jump down to the where let us make man. I think maybe the 7th verse or something.
Go ahead. Verse 27.
This is verse 27 of the first chapter. I'm just jumping down here to show you what the Spirit of God was. Go ahead. It was moving upon the face of the waters. Go ahead. Okay.
And God said, let us make man in our image.
And God said, this is the fifth day. This is the sixth day where the Lord was creating beasts from the earth and everything else from the earth. He also created people. He also created man in the sixth day. And it said, and God said what?
Let
who?
Us.
Let who?
Us.
God said, let us make man in our image. Why would the Most High say us? It says us because these are the angels that are doing the physical creation. The Most High is giving the orders and the angels are creating. They're carrying it out. You understand? That's why in the book of John, it said in the beginning, which we just read at the top of Genesis 1:1. John 1:1 said in the beginning, the word was with God. I'm paraphrasing. And the word was with a power. That's what God means. And that's why in this first chapter, it's saying God said, and God did this. It's talking about the powers, which are the angels. In John 1:1, it says the word was with the power, and the word was a power. Let's get that real quick. Can we get that? You understand? John 1:1. Just to show you about these powers, these gods that was doing the creation in the beginning, in Genesis first chapter, at the orders of the Most High power. Read it.
This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1.
Go ahead.
In the beginning was the word.
That's the book of Genesis. That's when God began. That's when he started creation. In the beginning was what?
The word.
Was the word. We all know the word was Yahushua, our king. Go ahead.
And the word was with God.
And the word was with the power, is translated. And the word was with God. So Christ, our king, he was way back here in the beginning when God started creation. Right. He was back here with the rest of the angels. The word was with the power. Go ahead.
And the word was God.
And the word was a power, is correctly translated. He wasn't the most high power, but he was a power. Right. That's what that means in John 1:1. So go back to Genesis, the first chapter. That's why the powers or the angels said to the Most High, let us make man in our image. Read the rest of that, 26.
Oh God. Let us make man in our image. After our likeness.
After our likeness. What is their likeness? Intelligence. Intelligence. The ability to say, I can't do that, I can do this. The ability to think higher than a lion. You can't tell a lion, don't eat pork. It's an abomination. And you sit there and meet in front of him, he won't know what to do. He don't understand, I can't do this, I'm gonna piss off the Lord. He gonna eat that pork. He gonna eat anything you put in front of him because they're animals, they're beasts. They said, let's make man with more intelligence than the beasts. Let's make man with more intelligence than the animals. Let's make them after our image, with intelligence, ability to follow the law. Man has ability to see the Lord says, don't do this and not do it. That's what man has. They have intelligence. It's just that man outside of Israel, and hell, half of Israel, don't give a damn of what the Lord said. But they do have the ability to see and understand that God doesn't want this. It's just that our oppressor, although he has the ability to know that God is against homosexuality, he on purpose defies God. On purpose, he defies our God. Read 26.
Oh God. And let them have dominion.
And that's important. Because they have this intelligence, because they're being made in the image of angels or powers to be intelligent, to obey or disobey, you understand? They had dominion over what?
Over the fish of the sea.
The Lord made man smarter than fish. Go ahead.
And over the fowl of the air.
The Lord made man smarter than birds. Go ahead.
And over the cattle.
The Lord made man smarter than cattle. Go ahead.
And over all the earth. And over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth.
So the Lord made humans, made men, male and female. He made them smarter than bugs and insects. Thank the Lord. You understand? He gave us dominion by giving us that intelligence. Jump down back to 2. The brother's question. Go ahead.
And this is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth was without form and void,
Okay.
and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
So the Lord had not made the earth as we know it today. That's what that means. Go ahead.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 3. And God said, let there be light.
So then it came a point where the Lord, where the Most High said, let there be light. Go ahead.
And there was light.
And there was light. The power said, let there be light, and the angels made light appear. This dark void of form, you understand? It lit up. A part of it lit up. The Lord said, let there be light, and a part of it lit up. Now, the sun wasn't even created yet. You read further down, after this, he created the sun and the moon. So it wasn't light from there. You ever seen before the sun come all the way up? Before the sun come up, period, it's light outside. You look out the window and it's light outside. Before the sun even come up to shine. Because there's eons and electrodes or whatever. You scientists know it better than me. The Most High is a scientist. He light up those elements and there's light on the earth, even before the sun is coming down. And when you read down, the Lord then, he separated the darkness from the light. And he called the darkness night and the light he called day. You understand? And then he went on further with creation. So I'm gonna end it there because that was the brother's question in the second verse. One day, if somebody want to know, just send it in. We can go over the whole creation. The next one, go to Genesis 2 and 7. Now we're gonna go into the trees. Question about the trees not really being trees. Go ahead.
Genesis 2, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground.
So now this is in the seventh day. After the Lord created people, male and female, the Lord rested on the seventh day and blessed it. And then he ran down all his work in Genesis 2 and 1. And now in the seventh verse, he said the Lord, and that's why it's different from the first chapter because it kept saying God. Now it's saying the Lord God. This is the Most High God here. He formed man of the dust of the ground. This is when he chose Adam. This is when he took Adam and taught Adam the truth and showed him the truth. He chose him from the dust of the ground, meaning Adam was a nobody, a regular citizen, like every other male and female he created. He didn't have the truth. He was in the world. You understand? There was no truth. And then he chose Adam and gave him and took him from among those common people. Go ahead.
And and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
And gave him the breath of life, which is the laws. Which is the laws. What's the proof Adam had the laws? Because before Moses gave the law, Noah took 7 unclean animals and 2 clean animals onto the ark of each animal. How did Noah know what was unclean, what was clean? Because the Lord gave it to Adam. Adam gave it to Seth. Seth gave it to his son and his son and his son, all the way to Noah, man. That's how Noah knew the law. The law was like spoken by word at this time. It was our culture. It was the culture of the children of Adam. Now Moses made it official and put it in writing and put it down on paper and scrolls. You understand? But before Moses, it was told to us what the law was. You understand? Read.
And man became a living soul.
And man became a living soul. Adam became the living soul. He now had the truth, like all of us in our eyes should be kept. We come in here and learn, and the Spirit of the Lord breathes life into our nostrils, and we become living souls. As opposed to our brothers and sisters who haven't come in yet, who's still in the world, and they're the walking dead, man. They're the dry bones that Ezekiel talked about. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden.
Go ahead.
And there he put the man whom he had formed.
And now he put Adam in this. This man that he had formed, he put him in this garden. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight.
Go ahead. Meaning, go ahead, read on.
And good for food.
And good for food. You ever heard of food for thought? This good for food is knowledge. This is learning something. There was trees around that was pleasant and good for food. Pleasant to the sight and good for food. Meaning to learn these things was wonderful. Adam was learning a wonderful thing from the Lord, man. The Lord was showing him all kind of things, man. But one thing Adam understood, and what he didn't understand, he understood how to obey. He understood the Lord said, do this. Yes, I'm going to do it. The Lord gave him this. The Lord told him to name the animals, to do this, gave him wisdom, and Adam knew how to obey. What Adam did not know was how to disobey. That's what he didn't know in the garden until something happened, of course. So right now, all Adam knows is to obey. And it was wonderful what he was learning. It was food for thought, good for food. Go ahead.
The tree of life also in the midst of the garden.
The tree of life was in the garden, of course, meaning learning the knowledge on how to live. Obeying the Lord, that's the tree of life. His laws, his commandments. What he say to do, you do. That's the tree of life. What he say not to do, you don't do. But Adam, all he knew is what the Lord say to do. And I'm going to do that. That's the tree of life. Go ahead.
And the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
And now there was another thing you could learn in this garden too. There was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And evil. All Adam knew right now was the good. All he knew was the tree that gives you life. The knowledge that gives you life, how to obey. Jump down. That was 9, right? Go to 15.
Verse 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
To dress it and to keep it. That Garden of Eden is a piece of land. We call the land Israel today. But all those lands over in the Middle East, Israel and all the surrounding lands, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and all those lands, all of that was the Garden of Eden. All of that was the land of Israel, our land, black and brown people. Read.
Verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
You may learn everything that's in this garden. Anything you can learn. Anything that I teach you and that I show you, you can learn. Go ahead.
Verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
But there's another thing here that you cannot learn. Of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not eat of it.
You shall not eat of it. Read.
For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Thou shalt surely die. That's what the Lord said. That's the commandment he gave him, right? That's the commandment. That's what all Adam knew. The Lord said, don't touch that. I will not touch that. Go to, let me see. Go to Revelation 22:1.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22, and verse 1. And he shewed me a pure river of water of life.
He showed him a pure river of water of life. Go ahead. What John is seeing in this vision, he's seeing New Jerusalem. He's seeing us back in our motherland, back in our motherland. Go ahead.
Clear as crystal.
Clear as crystal. Read.
Proceeding out of the throne of God.
Coming out of the throne of the Most High. Read.
And of the Lamb.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. In the midst of the street of it.
In the middle of the street of it. That's what midst mean. In the middle of the street of this land. Go ahead.
And on either side of the river.
And on either side of this river, which is the water of life. Go ahead.
Was there the tree of life.
The tree of life, showing you that he having a vision of the garden. Go ahead. It was the tree of life. Go ahead.
Which bear 12 manner of fruit.
Which bear 12 manner of fruit. Now, if this was a physical tree, what the hell kind of tree is this that got 12 different fruit? Read.
And yielded her fruit every month.
This tree, it got 12 different manners, different kinds of fruit on it. What in the hell kind of tree is that if it's a real physical tree? And it bears a fruit every month. No tree does that. No tree has 12 different types of fruit that it gives every month. It changes fruit. No tree does that. This tree is symbolic. It's a metaphor. You understand? Like the brother brought out on how this is knowledge. This is knowledge. This tree that bear 12 manner of fruit is what we call today the zodiac, the stars, the sky. The Lord taught Adam how to look up and read the stars and read the sky. Today they make it, you a Leo, and this is going to happen to you, and they get a little superstitious with it now. But at one time, we could look up in the sky and see what the Lord is telling us. When to grow crops, when not to grow crops. How to do this, how to do that. We can look up in the sky and see what the Lord is bringing a drought. You understand? Or bringing a storm to water the crops. You know what I'm saying? We could do that once upon a time in ancient times. Again, in this oppression and this hell in America, we done lost all of that. Even sailors, when we get on boats, we can read the sky and know how to navigate. Some in Esau's military, a lot of them can do that today, but they do got a lot of equipment and machine to do that for them now, because they really don't trust in the Most High. You understand? So this tree that bear 12 manner of fruit is talking about the zodiac, talking about the stars and how it changes every month in the sky. They say that it's the Big Dipper in 1 minute, then it's the Small Dipper, and then it's to this and this to that. You understand? And some people can read it. You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time, our nation could read it. We'll get back to all that. Read.
And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation.
And leaves are something that trees produce. So this metaphoric tree, which is knowledge, the knowledge it produced, the leaves that it produced, was for their healing, meaning it helped us. It was for our betterment. It was to bless us and help us through life and help give us whatever the Lord wanted us to have. You know what I'm saying? Healing, medicines, whatever. You understand? The Lord created the herb for medicine, and he created the doctors. So one time our doctors of Israel, we could look up and see what the Lord is saying in the sky. And the Lord would give them visions and show them things that they would use to help heal us, man, and make us better. Is that it on that? What's the next one? The brother asked about the trees or the rig. All right, let's deal with the rig. Come. So now, I know he ain't asked about it, but the significance of those trees is Eve finally went to Adam and she learned that knowledge of good and evil. You understand? And then gave it to Adam. And gave it to Adam and wanted him to learn it. Let me see. Let's get that real quick. Genesis 3 and 2. I may go a little over, maybe. Genesis 3 and 2 real quick. Remember, Adam got an order not to eat of it, and he was fine with it. That was his orders. That's all he knew, is how to follow orders and do good by the Lord. He had the tree of life. Go ahead.
Genesis 3, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And the woman said unto the serpent.
Now this is Eve, his wife. Go ahead.
We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Meaning we can learn all this knowledge that's in here. Read.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden,
Uh-huh.
God hath said, ye shall not eat of it.
Read.
Neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Don't go into that. Don't go learning the knowledge of good and evil. Don't touch that tree. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman,
Uh-huh.
ye shall not surely die.
And the serpent, who was a liar, told the woman, ye shall not surely die. Surely he ain't gonna kill you. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Surely, come on now. He's not going to really kill you. He's just trying to scare you. He's trying to scare you because he knows that if you learn this, both of your eyes are going to be open. Now you're going to know something that you didn't know before. You're missing out. You're missing out. Go ahead.
And ye shall be as God.
And you're going to be as gods if you learn this. Read.
Knowing good and evil.
And you're going to know good, which Adam knows, and you're going to know evil. With this knowledge, Adam and Eve is going to learn how to disobey. That's the point. You understand? With this, like, don't eat that, don't do that, don't do that, or you're going to learn something horrible. You're going to learn something horrible. Let me just peek and see what I ain't supposed to learn. You just disobeyed the Lord by opening this book or by getting this knowledge. And now they know evil now. Now they know disobedience. Read.
So God. Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. Oh, then it was verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eye,
she went and learned this knowledge that the serpent had told her to learn. And she saw that it was good for food. And what?
Pleasant to the eye.
And pleasant to the eyes. Go ahead.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
Make you wise, because now you can understand when you do wrong. Now you know evil now. Now you can master good and evil. Now you're wise now. Read.
She took of the fruit thereof.
Uh-huh.
And did eat. and gave also unto her husband.
And she gave also unto her husband. So I ain't gonna read down for time's sake, but she gave it to Adam. Adam ate of the so-called fruit, which is learning the knowledge. And then they knew, it says both of them were naked to their shame. Because why? All they knew is how to obey. Now Adam learned how to disobey. And he knew that woman had made him go off. And now he was ashamed. Now he was ashamed before the Lord and tried to hide. You understand? So now let's go to the next one about the rib. Genesis 2 and 20. Let me say this first. Your rib is your family. And the Lord, he wanted our bloodline to be close. You understand? That's why in the question he mentioned cousins. It's lawful for an Israelite to marry his cousins. That's how the Lord set it up, because that's what he wanted. He wanted a close bloodline. He wanted it close, so he would make it. He made it lawful. It's lawful to marry your cousin and have children by. It keeps the bloodline strong. You understand? It was not lawful. The Lord got certain laws. You can't sleep with your sister, of course. You can't sleep with who else? Your aunt. You can't sleep with your aunt. You can't sleep with your sister. You can't sleep with your father's other women. You understand? All that's unlawful, but your cousin is lawful according to the Bible, and that's what happened in the Bible. Genesis 28 and 1.
Genesis 28 and 1, sir?
Yes.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis.
I'm sorry. Let's yes, 2 and 20 first. Sorry, you was right.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 20.
Okay.
And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air.
Adam had dominion. Adam got the truth, and then he got dominion, and the Lord allowed him to name the animals and the birds. Go ahead.
And to every beast of the field.
So Adam had all these animals he was naming, all these birds, everything. Go ahead.
But for Adam, there was not found in help meet for him.
But out of all these animals and the things that, that was there that he was naming, there was no companion for Adam yet. He didn't have a companion. Read.
Verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam.
So the Lord had Adam fall into a deep sleep. Go ahead, a metaphor. Go ahead.
And he slept. And he took one of his ribs. And closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman.
Come on. Now, on the surface, we all grew up in America, Christian church dominating. It sounds exactly what the church says, right? Like he grabbed a piece of Adam's bone, his rib, and magically turned it into a woman. On all the movies they done made about this, you understand? In this Christian society, that's what they teach us. Read.
And brought her unto the man. Verse 23.
Go ahead.
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone.
This is important. Adam said, this is now bone of my bone. Go ahead.
And flesh of my flesh.
And flesh of my flesh. Read.
She shall be called woman. Because she was taken out of man.
Because she was taken out of man. Now, let's get some understanding on that. Genesis 28 and 1 real quick. Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. And she was called woman because she was taken out of man. Read.
This book of Genesis 28, verse 1.
Now let's see if she was taken out of the side of man, out of an actual bone of a man. Go ahead.
And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and cursed him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. So
Jacob knew that the Lord liked Israelites or the children of Adam to marry their cousins and get with their cousins and don't stray too far from our bloodline. You understand? So he told Jacob, listen, don't get with none of these Canaanites. Don't get with these daughters of Canaan who are so-called Africans, so-called South Africans. You understand? These are the children of Canaan. They are so-called Africans, biblically known as Hamites. Read.
Verse 2. Arise, go to Pandan Aram.
Pandanaram was a city, a land. Go ahead.
To the house of Bethuel. Thy mother's father.
Right, like go to Rebecca's father. His name is Bethuel. He's in the land of Pandaram. Go to him. Read.
and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother.
So your mother's brother is there, Laban. So go there and find you a wife. Take you a wife of one of his daughters, which is your cousin. Go ahead.
Verse 3. A God Almighty bless
Salaki.
thee.
Let's go to Genesis 28 and 8.
O God.
Just to show another example. This is Esau. Go ahead.
This book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 8. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father.
Because he knew that Isaac was against getting with these Canaanites. He wanted the bloodline close. He heard him tell that to Jacob, and that's what Jacob taught. Jacob taught his children. We always taught our children, man. So Jacob, knowing that, Esau knew that Jacob was against getting with these women of Canaan. Read.
Verse 9. Then went Esau unto Ishmael.
Esau, he then went to Ishmael. Read.
And took unto the wives which he had Mahalah, the daughter of Ishmael.
So he went and got one of Ishmael's daughter. Why? Because Ishmael was Abraham's son. You understand? Ishmael was Isaac, his father's brother. You understand? By blood. You understand? So she was a cousin of Esau also. Esau went and got one of his cousins from Ishmael. Go ahead.
Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife.
Come, go to Genesis 29 and 9. So just an example, Jacob forbid them to marry these heathen women. It was far outside of our bloodline, like the Canaanites. Instead, go get one of your cousins. That's what he told Jacob. That's what Esau did also. Read.
This is the book of Genesis, 29, verse 9. And while he yet spake.
Now remember, we reading this because Adam got a wife. You understand? He got a woman. We reading about our forefathers getting women. Isaac sent Jacob to get a woman. Read.
Rachel came with her father's sheep.
So while Jacob was in this land, he saw people waiting at this well for their flocks to all come together so they could push this big rock aside so they could go get the water out of the well to water their flocks and take care of their flocks. And while he waiting, Rachel come walking up. Go ahead.
For she kept them. Verse 10.
For she had her own sheep herself, her father's sheep. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother.
His mother's brother, his uncle. Laban was Jacob's uncle. Go ahead.
And the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth.
So when Rachel came up with his uncle's sheep, Jacob said, "Oh man, they were my peoples," and he rolled the stone away. Go ahead.
And watered the flock of Laban.
And he watered his uncle's sheep for Rachel. Go ahead.
His mother's brother.
Stressing his mother's brother. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel. And lifted up his voice and wept.
And he cried, man, because he ain't seen his family, man. This time he ain't seen his family. Now you see his cousin, man. He's so happy to see her. You understand? Read.
Verse 12. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother.
Right. He said, "I'm your father's brother, man." Like her family, his family. You know what I'm saying? "I'm your father's brother, man. I'm kinfolk. You understand? I'm family with you." Go ahead.
And that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father.
And Rebekah was Rachel's aunt. He said, "I'm Rebekah's son." Go ahead. And she ran and told her father, "Our cousin is here, Dad. Father, Abba, our cousin is here." Read.
Verse 13. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son.
When Rebekah told him Rachel told him everything that Jacob had said, how he was family and he was Rachel's son. Go ahead.
That he ran to meet him.
He ran out to meet his nephew, man. Go ahead.
And embraced him.
And hugged him. Read.
And kissed him.
Kissed him. Go ahead.
And brought him to his house.
And took him to the house. "Man, you come on, man. Come on. I'm so happy to see you, man. How's everybody? Man, come on, man. We're going to feed you up. You look hungry, man. Go ahead and take a shower, get you a change of clothes, whatever you need. You want some wine? Come on, man." Go ahead.
And he told Laban all these things.
And he told who?
Laban.
He told Laban all these things. Go ahead.
All these things. Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And Laban said to him,
So he told Laban what happened on all his travels, what happened back in the land he came from with Esau and Isaac and everything. He told Laban about himself, where he coming from, running down, what he been through. And Laban said, what?
surely thou art my bone and my flesh.
He said, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. Remember what Adam said. Thou art bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Laban saying the same thing right here to Jacob. Surely thou art my bone and my flesh, meaning my family. You're my family line. Read.
And he abode with them the space of a month.
The space of a month. Go ahead.
Verse
That's
15.
the end of 14. So that's good. So you see in the similarity, Laban was saying, you are my flesh and blood. In other words, what we would say today. You're my flesh and blood. And that's what Adam said about Eve. She was his flesh and blood. He wasn't expecting it. He wasn't looking for it. But the Lord made it happen. And when he turned around and looked up, it was like he was in a sleep. I got a woman there. How'd I met her? I didn't plan on meeting her. Much like many of you met your wife. You wasn't planning on it. But you was at this spot. She happened to be at this spot. Y'all saw each other, looking at each other, spoke. You think nothing of it. End up, talking from there. Saw her again and end up getting together. You ain't planned it, but it happened. You understand? And the Lord set this up for Adam to meet Eve. You understand? And she was his cousin. She was his family. And when it said took the rib out of man, man just meaning the common man. The common man. Took her out of a man and she became Adam's woman. You understand? So that was the questions on that, right? That was the last one, right? On 4. How did that? No sweat. Let's go to the next question.
How did that demon give a prophecy to Saul?
So this question comes from last week. Somebody asked about demons, and I was showing how witches have demons on them, enchanters, and all those fortune tellers and soothsayers. They all have demons on them. You understand? And what you got to understand that all witches and all enchanters, all fortune tellers, they are all hustlers. They are hustlers. They got a demon on them, which causes them to be good hustlers. You know what I'm saying? The best hustlers and liars, they have demons on them, AKA your pastor, AKA your deacon, your church. T.D. Jakes is a good hustler, boy. He's a good hustler. Why? Because that Christian demon on him allows him to speak words, and people, they flock to it, and they love it. They love it. Their minds are weak. They don't know the truth, and so he enchants them. Guess what? Know who else is got a demon of a familiar spirit and enchanter? Donald Trump. He ain't the smartest guy on the earth, but he got a demon in him. This naturally, the way he speaks and what he says convinces those people around him to love him. They all know he's lying. They all know he's a hustler. They all know he's a criminal, but they still flock to him and support him. Why? Because he's enchanting them when he speaks, man. When he speaks. Al Sharpton was good at speaking. Farrakhan. When people speak to you and tell you lies in their speaking, but you eat it up and believe it anyway, that's an enchantment, man. And that's all a fortune teller. You pay money to some hustler, some witch to tell you your fortune. And she's just good at hustling. She say, oh, I see somebody, a male. He died within the last few years. Oh my God, that's Uncle Ray. Oh yeah, it's Uncle Ray. And listen, oh my God, he's wearing something like that's cue that video up, you died too. And oh, he's wearing this and that. Oh, he always loved chains. Yeah, he got gold chains, and they just good. They feed off of you and your reactions, and they hustle you out of your money. You leave crying and worn out, thinking she just talked to Uncle Ray, and she give you all your money, and that's an enchanter. That's a witch. You understand? They have demons on them, and they hustle. You understand? Now, I brought out the witch that Saul went to. I brought that out last week. I'm going to go to it again. 1 Samuel 28:5. Just like your Christian pastors hustle you and get all your money, so do fortune tellers. So do people with familiar spirits. So do your witches who hustle you. They have a demon on them that causes them to be good at lying, cheating, stealing, hustling, all of the above. You understand? The same demon that's in church is the same demon that's in a witch, that's in a hustler, that's in an enchanter. And so now, His question was, how did the demon prophesy to Saul? The demon didn't prophesy to Saul. She had a demon all her life that had made her good at hustling. That's why Saul went to her. Saul, let's go to it. Let's go to 1 Samuel 28:5. And I'll play the video Yediah has to make you understand. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Samuel.
Right, like Cleo. Like that. I couldn't think of her name. That chick Cleo, the Benjamite. You know what I'm saying? She used to lie and hustle people, man. So they had to get up on charges. Read.
This is the book of 1 Samuel 28, verse 5.
Martin Luther King, right. He's another hustler. He was good at his words, man. He had a demon on him. There was a hustler. He knew how to say words and make people flock to it. Go ahead.
And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled.
So the Lord was taking the kingdom from Saul. Saul had disrespected the Lord by not obeying him. So Saul was taking the kingdom from Saul and passing it on to King David. And the Lord, and read on.
Verse 7, verse 6. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not.
So Saul went to the priest to try to talk to the Most High, to get answers because he was scared of the Philistines. They was at war with Israel. And the prophets ain't had no answers for him because the Lord wouldn't talk to them. The Lord gave Saul no answers because he was against Saul. Go ahead.
Neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets.
Saul tried everything. He tried those who were good at interpreting dreams, who dreamt a lot and got visions from the Lord. He tried the Urim, the Thummim. He tried prophets. The Lord would not answer Saul. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that had a familiar spirit.
Saul went to his servants. He's the king, remember. He's the king. And not only every king of Israel was a representative of the Most High God. And they're supposed to enforce the laws of God because he's the king of Israel. And so he enforces the laws of the God of Israel. So when people look at the king, they look, it's like they talking to the Lord. Like the king is supposed to be giving you orders from God. You understand? And I tell you that just so you can understand what's coming up. Read.
That I may go to her.
So Saul told his servants, find a witch. Find a woman that's good, that has an unclean, that have a familiar spirit. They got a demon on her that's good at hush. They can tell me something good, man, about what's about to happen. Read.
And inquire of her. And his servant said to him.
So it's like they finding the best preacher. It's like Saul going, find me the best preacher, man. They could say some things that, you know, somebody that got a reputation of making the people feel good, and making the people feel like they've spoken to a prophet. Read.
Because there is a woman that had a familiar spirit at Endor.
Read.
Verse 8. And Saul disguised himself.
And Saul disguised himself. Read.
And put on other raiment.
And put on different clothes. Read.
And he went. And 2 men with them.
So Saul and 2 men went to find this witch that had a familiar spirit demon on her. A demon. Read.
And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit.
Divine unto me. You understand? Divine unto me and tell me what's going on, because the Lord won't answer me. Read.
And bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee.
Now, this woman was so good, and these witches were so good that King Saul believed that they really had this power, but they were hustlers. You understand? These witches and enchanters, they are all hustlers. You understand? And Saul disguised himself as a regular customer, like a customer coming to Chloe, the fortune teller. He went to her in that spirit, like a regular citizen coming to pay her money or to give her some type of riches or wealth for her to do this thing that he believed she could do. But again, she got a demon on her. All this is a hustle. Read.
Oh God. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done?
You know what Saul hath done. Go ahead.
How he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits?
You know what Saul hath done. Why is she bringing up Saul? Because Saul is representing the Most High. He's the king of Israel. She said, you know what Saul done? He cut off those with familiar spirits because the Most High ordered that. The Most High said in the law, those with familiar spirits, put them to death. Get rid of them. They're an abomination. So you know Saul is a man of God obeying the Lord. You know what he did. He enforces that law. Go ahead. Meaning she telling this cat, come on now. You know Saul. He out to get whoever breaks this law. Go ahead.
And the wizards
Go ahead.
out of the land.
What verse?
Verse 9
Mm-hmm.
at the end. Wherefore, then layest thou a snare for my life.
A little louder. Wherefore thou layest a snare for my life. You know Saul is enforcing this law. This law is an important law that he don't want nobody breaking, man. Because the Lord said to put a witch to death. Y'all trying to get me killed. Y'all trying, I know I'm good at this. This is what I do for a living, for my money. But y'all trying to get me killed. I don't know who y'all are. Read.
To cause me to die.
You know how a drug dealer don't like to sell to strangers, right? Drug dealer got his customers, but a stranger can't come up. He think he the police. Hey man, let me get two of them red tops. I don't do that over here. What you talking about, homie? what you talking about? There ain't no red tops over here. I don't know you. It's the same thing she doing. Like I don't know y'all. Y'all trying to get me killed. I don't do no. That's against the law. Read.
Verse 10. And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this day.
And so now this cat saying, I swear by the Lord, I swear ain't no punishment gonna happen to you. I got you. I'm not a cop, in other words. I ain't no cop, man. My boy just told me about you, man. I'm coming to see you. Like, remember, Saul told his servants to find me somebody. And they found her, because she had a reputation, obviously. And so now he coming to her like, I ain't the police. Come on now, my man told me about you. Let me get two of them red tops. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee?
So that he convinced the woman. She said, all right, who you want me to bring up? What you want me to do? Go ahead. Now she about to do her thing. She about to get into her hustle for money. Go ahead.
And he said, bring me up Samuel.
And he wanted to talk to the prophet Samuel. Read.
Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice.
She cried out with a loud voice. Why? She saw Samuel and she cried out, why? Read.
Oh God. And the woman spake to Saul, saying,
Start again. Say when she saw Samuel.
Oh God.
Yeah, go ahead. What verse?
Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel,
when she saw Samuel, go ahead.
She cried with a loud voice.
She cried out with a loud voice. Go ahead.
And the woman spake to Saul, saying,
so she cried out and turned to Saul. And this is what she said.
Why hast thou deceived me?
Why hast thou deceived me? Go ahead.
For thou art Saul.
For thou art Saul. How did she know this was so? How did she know? Now play this clip, Yedaya. Everybody watch this clip. This is a scene from the movie Ghost. A scene from the movie Ghost to give you clarity on what just happened with this hustler, with this witch.
Rosa Santiago? Please proceed. Our sister will be with us soon. Sister Oda-Mae, grant us the gift of your all-seeing presence. Appear before us now. Mrs. Santiago? Buenos dias.
Now they open the closet, she ain't there. They trying to pretend like she's full of magic.
Your husband. See, I believe he'll be with us today. Thank you.
Now they open the closet again. She in the closet.
You know,
She's
Mrs.
full of magic.
Santiago.
This is their hustle. Read.
There's no telling about that other world. So you've got to be a believer, Mrs. Santiago. Are you a believer? See, I believe. Let us begin.
So now she's faking the phone, like she's calling on the spirit.
It's too difficult. I just can't seem to make contact. I don't feel his vibe. No,
Can't
wait.
do it 'cause it's hard.
I'm feeling something. Did he know someone by the name of Anna? Consuelo? Lucita? Julieta? Josefina?
They just
Linda,
showing the hustle.
Maria?
in the witch.
Sí, his mama. She is Maria. Yes! Praise God, I knew he was with his mama.
Oh my God.
It's too difficult. It's two of them. I'm not sure I can do that. It's so trying. I pay more. How much? $20.
Oh, way to go. Milk her for every penny.
A little bit more money. And you heard Sam Wheat said something, and she hearing it, right? And she wondering what the hell is going on. So she got that extra money, but she's still looking around like, what is this extra voice I'm hearing in here? This ain't part of my hustle. Go ahead.
Yes, I believe we can start again.
Now she going to her game, boy.
Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
This is your Christian church every Sunday.
Welcome, Mrs. Santiago. You're fortunate today. The spirits are churning.
My husband? Have mercy.
Oh, yeah, where?
Hear the voice again.
Yes. I feel his vibration. I see him.
How is he? How does he look?
Oh, he's a handsome man.
Handsome.
Mrs. Santiago, in our Father's kingdom, we're all handsome.
Oh, Julio.
Julio's coming towards us. I see him. He's coming. He's there. He's dressed in a black suit.
She said he got a black suit.
Could be blue.
Now she looking
What
at
a
funny.
crock of shit.
Who is that? Julio! Where are
She
you?
hears
Julio?
Sam, she start wigging out.
Did you hear it? Where are you? Julio? What?
Oh,
Whoa.
Julio.
You can hear me?
Now she looking at my mouth.
I don't believe
Now
this.
she really hearing something.
Hey, my name is Sam Wheat. Listen, can you hear me? Sam Wheat. Say my name. Say it.
Say
my name. Sam Wheat. Say it. Sam Wheat. Say it.
Say something. Julio, Sam Wheat.
That's it on that, you guys.
Jesus.
And y'all see how she was used to the hustle, right? Because her job, what she did to her life, she hustled.
Give me penance,
She
make like
tricked
I go
people and
away.
get their money. That's how she make a living, right? But then Sam Wheat really said something and she heard it. And she flipped out. She started tripping. That's what this woman did just now. Go back a verse or two and call out the verse.
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 28, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this day.
Uh-huh.
Verse 11. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee?
So she started a hustle. All right, who you want me to call up? Go ahead. Just like this woman did with Oda May. Oda May said, who you want? My cousin. Go ahead.
and he said, "Bring me up Samuel."
And Saul said, "I want to talk to Samuel." Go ahead.
Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice.
So now, this woman who usually hustles, right? She usually hustles. The Lord's showing her a vision here. Go ahead. Huh?
Sorry, when I said they banned the audio
From the movie, so they could not hear it at all?
yeah, kind of.
Okay. Well, the sister was responding like she could hear it. No sweat.
Just did it, so
Can they hear me now, though?
they can hear you now.
No sweat. So I want to say, Shalakia, they stopped the audio on the movie, right? But as y'all can see, what happened was Oda Mae was hustling this Hispanic sister, right? And that's what a witch does. They hustle. That's what this witch in the book of Samuel does. She hustles for a living and does enchantment, and now there's a demon on her. It makes her good at it. That's why they brought Saul to her, because she had a good reputation for doing this hustle. And a lot of people believe in this witch in the book of Samuel. Like a lot of people believed in Oda Mae on the movie Ghost. So she hustling this Hispanic woman like she seeing her family member. And Sam Wheat, who is in the movie a real spirit, he said, "This is bullshit." And Oda Mae heard her. Now, she don't normally hear spirits. She is a hustle. You know what I'm saying? But in this time, she heard Sam and start bugging out because now she really is hearing a spirit now. Usually she fakes hearing a spirit, but in the movie, she really heard a real spirit and started tripping and running around, and he telling her, "Say my name, say my name." And she finally said his name and run in the closet. That's the movie. That's what happened with this witch in the book of Saul. Saul told her, "Bring me up Samuel." And she said, "All right, I'll bring you up Samuel." And then something happened that never happened to this witch in the book of Samuel. She really saw a vision of Samuel. And when she saw this vision of Samuel, read what she said. Read what happened.
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice.
She cried with a loud voice. Go ahead.
And the woman spake to Saul.
And the woman spake to Saul.
"Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul."
For thou art Saul. Why has, read that again? She said what?
"Why hast thou deceived me?"
She cried to Saul, man, and said, "Why hast thou deceived me?" What?
"For thou art Saul."
For thou art Saul. You are Saul. How did she know this was Saul? Because she knows Saul, a man of God, gave an order not to be a witch, not to practice her hustle, not to do this enchantment, because a witch is supposed to die, and Saul is a man of God. So when she started to pretend that she was bringing up Samuel, the Lord God gave her an actual vision, and she saw in this vision Samuel. Now, it wasn't actually Samuel. I'm going to prove it in a second in the scripture. But in this vision, the Lord showed her Samuel, and she never had a vision like this before. She never saw the actual person before, and she started bugging out. And she screamed with a loud voice like Oda Mae did. And she looked at Saul and said, "Why have you done this to me? For thou art Saul." She knew that he was Saul because of the vision that she was getting, because she knew God had stepped in now. And she knew if God's stepping in now, she's getting judged. In her mind, "Oh my Lord, I done crossed the line, and I'm really seeing this. This is the man of God. You are Saul. You done tricked me." You understand? So she knew this was Saul because she knew this vision was real, which never happens to her. You understand? Read, she's a hustler. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And the king said unto her, "Be not afraid."
Okay, the sister says she did hear it on Facebook. She heard it on Facebook, but I think they jammed it up on YouTube, like you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So lock it, everybody. YouTube is down right now, right? Okay, no sweat. I want to apologize to everybody on YouTube because of the copyrights. I didn't think they'd take it down because I didn't see any copyrights, but YouTube muted the sound on the video. But I just went into it and explained what happened. So now this witch that Saul went to, she bugged out just like Oda Mae. Why? Because now she's having a real vision and seeing what appears to be Samuel. Why? Because the Lord did this to her. Why is the Lord doing this to her? Because he's going to check the hell out of Saul for going to him. That's why the Most High given her this vision. He coming in Saul's neck. So the woman bugged out, said, "Oh my God, you Saul, you a man of God. Why you do this to me?" Because she having a vision that she never had. Just like Oda Mae heard a real spirit that she never heard before. Read. I'm gonna go a few more minutes, y'all.
And the king said unto her,
Go ahead.
Be not afraid, for what sawest thou?
And the king said, calm down, don't be afraid. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? Read.
And the woman said unto Saul, I saw God ascending out of the earth.
I saw gods ascending from where?
Out of the earth.
Out of the earth. So in this vision, she saw gods, meaning angels or spirits. She saw people coming out of the earth. Out of the earth. Now, how can this, read on first.
Verse 14. And he said unto her, What form is he of?
Like what form? What does Samuel look like? Read.
And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel.
So now Saul perceived it was Samuel, but what she's seeing spirits come out of the ground. So for this to really be Samuel, she would have to be seeing Samuel get up out of the grave and come out of the ground. That's what the ground means, the earth, the dirt, like the coffin. She's seeing spirits, powers, angels, gods coming out of the ground, coming out of the earth, like dead people rising, is what she's seeing. So now, this can't be Samuel because Samuel was dead and bodies rot. Y'all know that, right? They go in the ground, they start to rot and become dust and turn to, dust and worms and all that there. So after all this time Samuel been dead, if he coming out of the ground, he wouldn't look like himself. He wouldn't look like the old man Samuel. He'd be bones and rock, right? Meat and dust. You understand? So the Lord was showing her not Samuel, but a vision of Samuel. You understand? She saw dead people rising, and in one of these dead people, the Lord showed her had the image of Samuel, but it wasn't actually Samuel. It was the Most High. Read.
And he stooped with his face to the ground.
And Samuel dropped down with his face to the ground. Go ahead.
And bowed himself. Verse 15.
Good.
And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me?
Why hast thou disquieted me? This is the Lord. This is the Lord speaking through this vision of Samuel to Saul. He said, Why hast thou what?
Disquieted me.
Why have you raised me up? Why would you try to raise me from the dead by this witch? Go ahead.
To bring me up.
To bring me. What verse you at?
Verse 15.
Go ahead.
And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me.
1 Samuel 28, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
And God is departed from me.
Come on. He said, I'm sore distressed. I'm stressed, man. I'm in anguish because the Philistines is going to war with Israel. And the Most High done left me and won't come to me. Saul don't understand that this is the Lord right now. He believes the witch is doing what she got a reputation to do, that hustle. You know what I'm saying? Read.
Oh God. And answereth me no more, neither by prophet, nor by dream. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do.
I need to know what to do, Samuel. The Lord won't answer me. Go ahead.
Verse 16. Then said Samuel.
So in this vision, the woman is telling him what the vision of Samuel is saying. Go ahead.
Wherefore then dost thou ask of me?
Now remember, this is the Most High checking Saul through a vision of Samuel. And he said to Saul, wherefore dost thou ask me? Go ahead.
Seeing the Lord is departed from me.
Seeing the Most High that left you, why in the hell are you coming to me? Read.
And has become thy enemy.
And the Lord has become your enemy. And you still going to disrespect the Most High by going to a witch and raising up the prophet Samuel? Go ahead.
And the Lord hath done to him as he has spoke by me.
And the Lord is doing to you what you spoke by me. Go ahead, with the prophet Samuel, when it was Samuel, and he was alive, and told Saul that the Lord has taken the kingdom from you. Go ahead.
For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand.
Go ahead.
And given it to thy neighbor.
Come. So once again, she saw spirits, angels coming out of the ground, right? It was not Samuel, but it was a vision that the Lord gave her of Samuel. So one of these angels is speaking to her as if he was Samuel. Go ahead.
Even to David.
Go ahead and take the kingdom out of your hands, Saul, and gave it to David. Read.
Verse 18. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord,
Because you didn't obey the Most High, read,
nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek.
and didn't kill Amalek like he told you to kill him. Go ahead.
Therefore hath the Lord done this
And
thing
you-
unto thee
Go ahead.
this day.
And you know that's why the Lord is not answering you, Saul, king. Read.
Verse 19. Moreover,
And moreover, and this is what's going to happen extra. Read.
the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee
And aside from all that, the Lord is going to deliver Israel with you. Go ahead.
into the hand of the Philistines.
And Israel going to lose that war. You disrespectful bastard, you. You disrespectful bastard, you. You knew the Lord took the throne from you because you disobeyed him. Now you go to a witch. Now you go to a witch and try to raise up the prophet. You know that happened, man. You know it. And you know why the Lord did it, because you disobeyed him concerning Amalek. You know what? The Lord is going to deliver Israel and you to the Philistines. Go ahead.
Oh God. And tomorrow,
Go ahead.
shalt thou and thy sons
You and your sons, go ahead.
be with me.
Going to be with me. Going to be dead just like Samuel. Tomorrow, you and your sons are going to be in the earth. In the earth with the rest of the dead men. Go ahead.
The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines.
And Israel going to fall to those Hamites. Israel going to fall to those Hamites, man. So that's what this is. This is not a demon prophesying to Saul. This is the Lord. This is the Lord using what he always used, an angel to come in a vision as if he was Samuel in a witch to prophesy and check Saul and to tell him you're going to die for all of your disobedience, man. You're going to die for all of your disrespect. You understand? So that answers the question. I'm way over the time. I'm way over the time. Once again, that video, I guess y'all could go back and see if they play it on Facebook later on. But check that video out just for some understanding on what happened with Saul and that witch and why she bugged out when she saw the vision of Samuel. You understand? This is not a demon giving prophecy. This is the Most High giving prophecy to a woman that usually uses demons to hustle people. But now, for the first time in her life, she had a real vision of the real person that she was going to pretend to call up, just like Oda Mae did in the movie Ghost. She usually hustles to talk to people's family members and to hear spirits, and then Sam Wheat said something, and she really, for the first time in her life, heard a spirit, and she bugged out. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, Israel. I'm going to say shalom. Catch us next week for another episode of Ask Ye the Prophets. Remember, send in your questions. I didn't get to all the questions today, but I will.